Hi, and welcome to The One Thing I Know For Sure, a podcast where we ask one powerful question to reveal amazing insights and hopefully inspire you to transform or change something in your life for the better. My name is Wendy Rosenthal. I am the host and Chief Pathfinder of Pathfinder One-to-One, a transformation coaching practice where we use a first internal, then external point of view to help our clients really achieve their greatness, overcome challenges with ease, and step into their greatness. So excited to be here today with somebody who I have worked with in the past, who I really have enjoyed working with because he's also a coach. Bode Sharp, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Hello,
doing great.
world. Hello, Wendy, and happy to be here. I mean, I could have been anywhere in the world, but I'm here with you today, so I'm
I
very
love it. Thank you. We're really grateful for that.
yeah.
Bodhi is the founder of Bode Sharp Coaching, and that is a practice that seeks to help entrepreneurs build roadmaps to speak clearly to their target audiences and profitably grow and scale their business or their brand. I have worked with Bodhi, and he is excellent at all of those things. So we're very, very grateful that you're here. Bodhi, we want to just jump right in and ask you, what is the one thing you know for sure?
The one thing I know for sure is when you bet on yourself, you cannot lose.
I really appreciate the idea of betting on yourself. So I was just going to ask you to dig in deep on that.
Yeah, so betting on yourself basically means that you trust and you invest into your own potential, right? This is despite any risks or any doubts that you may have, or whether you're anxious, because this ultimately shapes your own path, right? So wherever it is that you want to go, and some people who believe in purpose, where your purpose is, it will lead you there, but you have to bet on yourself, right? This is how you are able to go the distance and you're able to win.
So, two questions immediately pop into my head. The first thing is, when you bet on yourself, like, what are you actually doing? Like, are you saying, okay, not only do I believe in this, but is it a financial investment? Is it a emotional investment? How do you take a step to bet on yourself?
So the best way to maybe explain it is if you think about an employee versus an entrepreneur, right? Now, if you have a job and you work for a company, at any given moment in time, you could come into the office and be told, I'm sorry, we have to let you go for whatever reason. Okay.
Mhm.
If that happens, it basically means that you have to now go and look for another job. Now, I know some people who have had job after job after job after job because they've unfortunately been working for companies that have been either gone bankrupt or they've just had to let people go. And ultimately, if you have your own business, you can't fire yourself, right? I mean, you could do if you want to, but if you have your own business, it means that the opportunity for you to continuously grow, build, um, is will always be there for you. You may have 10 clients and you may lose 5 clients, but the business still stands. So you can
Right.
always get new clients, right? So when you bet on yourself, it's not just from a work standpoint, to your point, it's also from a standpoint of just believe in yourself
Mm.
and go for it. You may see people who are authors and you've always wanted to write a book and you feel like, oh, well, that's not for me because they're better than me or they're more intelligent than me. No, give it a shot. Bet on yourself, right? It's like when you're going to the races and you have all of the different horses and you're putting a wager on them. And what I'm saying is put that wager in yourself and you're going to see the amount of effort you're going to put into to win that race. It will be very different to when you're just sitting on the couch watching other people race for the number one title to get to that finish line.
I think that is so insightful because betting on yourself doesn't just necessarily mean that it's about belief. Yes, belief is the first thing, right? But when you bet on yourself, it's like you're also allowing yourself to take a risk, which,
Hmm.
sometimes we need to do in life. That risk drives desire. It drives energy to work harder, to make a bigger impact in what you're doing. And also it feels like you're propping yourself up and knowing that you have the ability to do it as well. It's like
Hmm.
just by saying you're betting on yourself, you're packaging up a lot of really amazing things that we should appreciate about ourselves as well.
Absolutely. You said two things there. You said building a pathway, and you also mentioned risk. So I wouldn't look at it as a risk. I would look at
Okay.
it more as a journey, right? Because
Okay.
something is a risk when you don't know, like you're driving cross country from New York to California, like you don't know what the experience is going to be, even though you may have a map to follow, even though you may have like GPS, you may have a car or a people carrier, whatever it is so you don't know but what one thing is for sure, if you follow the path that has been laid out by many people before you, there's a high probability that you're going to get there, right?
Right.
And that's the same thing with life, right?
Mm,
So no matter what it is that you want to, nothing is new under the sun. So
mm,
anything that you want to do, there's already a pathway. People have already walked the path. Their experience will be different to your experience, but there's still a pathway, right? So you're trying to lose weight, right? You may have never lost weight all your life, but somebody will tell you you need to exercise more, drink more
right.
water, eat the right food, sleep more, and you will get there. You may get there quicker. It may there take you longer. Then the other thing you talked about, which is where, where you learn a bag of knowledge to figure
Mhm.
out how to, win when you bet on yourself.
Right.
Um, so when you think about the word bet, right, I came up with this acronym, right? So BET is bet. So bet, the B stands for believe, the E stands for explore, and the T stands for trust. Okay.
Yeah.
So the believe in yourself is the saying, I'm going to give it a go. I'm just going to try and see what happens. And when you have that mindset, then you start to think, okay, like which way do I go? Like how do I know which way to go? And that's where the E, which stands for exploration, comes into place. Like let me explore. Go to
Mm,
let me go to YouTube. Let me go to a networking event, or let me buy a couple of books, or let me go for like long walks and listen to podcasts and see how life can inspire me to figure out which way I need to go, right? And through that exploration, you will definitely get answers to your questions, right? And the last but not least is trust. You just got to trust the process. You got to trust that
mm.
everything that I believe about myself and everything that I do in this exploration is going to lead me to where I want to be. So when you just believe in yourself and you're open to exploring and you trust the process, because that trust is very important, because there will be times where you second guess yourself and think, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or you're trying to pitch for business and you can't get any customers and you feel like I'm no good at this.
Right.
No, trust that there will be a corner that when you walk around it, it's going to lead you to wherever it is that you want to go.
I love that. And what
Yeah,
an easy way to remember how to kind of set off on that journey, you know?
yeah,
And it almost
absolutely.
simplifies it. It doesn't make it feel overwhelming. And what I
Mhm.
really am inspired by is the idea of the exploration as well, the openness, and to know that that is part of the process. So you don't have to have all the answers right away.
Yeah.
That's really really important, I think, to remember. And I run across this in my coaching as well. It's like people feel overwhelmed by the thought of it, right?
Mhm.
Of betting on themselves,
Right.
because it feels like, well, then it's all on me and I can't do it. And what if I fail? It ends up getting connected to failure. And
Mhm.
so they tend to stop themselves
Right.
from actually betting on themselves. And that actually leads me to the second of my questions that I had earlier is, why do you feel it's so hard? Because it's not just about setting up a business, it's about betting on yourself in so many different ways, whether it's betting on yourself that you'd be a great partner in a relationship if you're looking for a soulmate, or betting on yourself in being a parent. I went through that struggle myself. I didn't believe I could be a good parent, and it really put a wall up. So why do you think it's so hard for people to bet on themselves?
So there are many different uh, reasons why people may feel that. So, for example, we can talk about like the way society has been set up, right? Society has been set up in such a way, um, you know, there are rules and procedures that you follow, right? But there's little flexibility outside of those rules. So most people fall into those rules. They'll get, go to college or go to university, get a good education so they can get a good job. And, in terms of how the media plays a big part, right? Everything is all orchestrated, right? So they tell you what they want you to know, or they try to teach you how to live your life in the way that they want you to.
Mm.
And so it's breaking away from that, right? It's believing that there must be another way. There must be an alternative way, or there can't just be one way for me to live my
Right.
life. And that's where the exploration comes into place. And when you start to explore, like, say, for example, you wanted to become an author, when you start to explore authors who had a similar journey to yourself, you start to realize that there's so many people who have gone through the same pathway as you,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, and then again, it's also how was you raised, right? So everybody has a different upbringing based on the upbringing that your parents had, right? Some people didn't have no parents. Some
Right.
people had parents who were strict. Some people had parents who were liberal. Some
Right.
people had parents who would drive home very specific things around how to clean the house, or how to be a man, or how to be a good woman, or how to make sure you have money, or how to make sure you're an integrous person, or they may have not had so
Right.
many different things contribute to the psyche of a person that quite often doesn't tend to lean towards betting on themselves,
Betting on
because
themselves
they're following a blueprint that was set for them,
for them.
right? And so that, I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't bet on themselves.
Well, I would love to have this conversation uh, 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 to further this conversation because I find it so fascinating. But I just want to say that I think that's one of the reasons why it's important for people to have coaches or mentors also in order to help them motivate themselves to see themselves in a different light from what maybe society is telling them or what their parents may have told them. I think it's important to have those that kind of element in your life. Bode, in the last couple of minutes that we have, I want to give you an opportunity to share where people can find you and what's going on in your world. I want to thank you so much for this insight. Like I said, I want to explore this a little bit further. I think it's really, really inspirational and very valuable. So why don't you tell us where people can find you and what's going on?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. It's under Bode Sharp Coaching, and you'll find me on there. Or if you want to contact me direct, you can contact me at scaleup@bodesharp.com. But in terms of what I've got going on at the moment, right now, there's a big renaissance happening where people are just not wanting to do what they've been told to do anymore. So many people are resigning from their jobs. I think with COVID, so many people were in the house and they had a lots of time to think about their
What they
life
want to do.
and what they really wanted to do. And one of the really important things I think that I really want the world to know is you need to have a source of income that you are in charge of. Because too many people are getting fired. People who've been working for companies for 10, 15, 20 years just getting fired. And there's just almost no job security anymore. So what I really want the world to know is the only security that you have is you. And that's why when you bet on yourself, you're always guaranteed to fall on your feet, because you're always going to find a way. So right now I work with entrepreneurs, I work with executives, and I work with professionals. And what I do is I help them develop strong, sustainable strategies that will allow them to grow, whether it's a side hustle or whether it's their own business. So I'm getting a lot of professionals coming to me saying, "Hey, look, I want to start a side hustle. I can't rely on my job alone. My wife's just been made redundant. I need to make sure that if anything happens to my job, I've got something else I can do here." And you've got entrepreneurs who are wanting to grow and scale their business, and they want to maybe retire early, and they're looking for strategies to do that. And that's what I specialize in, providing strategies that turn into roadmaps that essentially allow people to get from where they are to where they want to be.
Awesome. So now we know how to reach you. Also, I want to say if you're interested in working with Pathfinder, because we also help people on the inside so that they can um, reveal that light to understand and connect to the things that make you want to bet on yourself. So you can check us out at www.pathfinder1to1.com. You can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms at Pathfinder1to1. And we really appreciate you listening. Please like, please share, please tell your friends about the one thing that I know for sure. because when you do, you're giving them a gift of insight from many different walks of life. Bode, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to speaking with you again in the future. And thanks everyone for listening.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Take care.